okay, can there be anything that we can incent the employees to actually make that investment in the commute or whatever that is,
right,
to come back to the office and rebuild that sense of community that largely people lost during this sort of lockdown era.
Can we go to Old Bloomberg? Can we all go, like, you're back at Columbia and you guys are in a class? Okay, are you profitable?
At the unit economics level, yeah. Every product
level?
at the unit economics level. So our contribution margin profitable. We will be profitable in the coming months. Our business has not only grown into this broader vision that we've had, but wherever we are right now, it still represents such a tiny portion of a rapidly growing ecosystem. I mean, it's other countries, internationally, it's part of your employment package, right? Food benefits, here's your food stipend, right? Here's your salary, here's your stock-based comp, here's whatever. Oh, and by the way, here's your food benefit. That's happening here. And,
is it especially so, like, in the financial industry? Like, are you seeing any certain trends where, yeah, that is definitely taking off?
So financial industry has always been a food culture. I mean,
we never leave our desk.
Wait, exactly. I spent a decade on Wall Street, right? So
journalism is like that, too.
Yes, even in 2008, when all the financial institutions were kind of staring into the abyss, the one perk that they never got rid of was the food benefit, the late night meals, because people are going to work.
Is this more late night meals, or is it more free lunch?
It depends on the type of company. So if we're talking about the investment banks and the private equity firms, yes, they're late night meals. But if you're talking about hedge funds that don't have a culture of like really staying late at the office or burning the midnight oil, they work intensely hard from 5:30 a.m. till whatever. They're getting the lunch perk, right? So it all depends. No matter, we have thousands of different settings on our back end, right? That's what gives, the power of the API that we've built out. It's for the enterprise, and it gives you the impression of having this, it's like the custom orthotics, right? It's like it's made for you because we're able to sort of toggle on and off the exact set of features that you want, whether it's time restrictions, date restrictions, budgets, limits, geofencing, going, travel budgets, whatever it is. It's all done programmatically through our API. That's why, it takes a long time to build.
And every meal that is bought, one gets donated, right? We only have about 30 seconds left here, but that's part of the...
Every transaction made on ShareBuy results in a meal donated through our charitable partners, Feeding America, City Harvest.
What's the long-term goal? 30 seconds left here.
Yeah, we want to be the undisputed leader. We've already positioned ourselves as a leading food benefits platform that's built exclusively for companies, and the future looks really bright for a company like us.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people are listening. You know what I mean.
You and how you want lunch every day.
Like I said, it's hard because we have an incredible company that I had my lunch stuff upstairs.
That was nice, wasn't it? It's really nice.
Dilip, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Stay in touch. Dilip Rao. He's Chief Executive Officer, co-founder of ShareBuy, joining us here in our Interactive Broker Studio. We know we'll come back in the future. This is Bloomberg.
Don't miss our Business Week weekend show when the magazine covers stories. Elon Musk's epic quest for LOLs is only hurting Tesla. That's Bloomberg Business Week Saturday at 8 a.m. on Bloomberg Radio and on our podcast feed at Bloomberg.com.
Hey, coming up, we're talking with the former president and CEO of AMC Networks. We're talking media, we're talking content, we're talking streaming, but we're also talking about his new book, The Third Act. It's coming up. Josh Lathan is joining us right here in studio. This is Bloomberg Radio.
Now, your 3-day weather forecast on Bloomberg 1130.
Some clouds, gusty winds, and turning cooler for the rest of today. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Midtown drops down to 30 to 35. Suburbs drop down to the low 20s. Coming up on Friday, partly sunny skies and back up in the low to mid 40s. At night, fair weather around 32. Sun and clouds on Saturday, 45 to 50. And Sunday, more clouds than sun, near 50. This is Gary Best with your weekend weather forecast on Bloomberg 1130.
Wednesday, the Fed is high.
We still have some ways to go.
The Fed is expected to dial back to a 25 basis point hike. But will they suggest more rate moves ahead or a pause?
The hawkish Fed, after a lot of people were talking about more nuance.
Full coverage on a special edition of Bloomberg Surveillance.
Is the Fed hit the GDP slowdown right?
The Fed rate decision and Powell press conference.
Fed ain't that focused on the step down.
Wednesday, starting at 1:30 on Bloomberg 1130 and Bloomberg Television.
All right, people, let's get this meeting started.
Where are the chairs?
Gone. Research shows standing meetings are quicker.
What research is that?
Topic 1. CDW helped us deploy Mac supercharged by Apple Silicon for the way we work now. So how's their speed?
Fast.
Battery life?
Long.
Cyber threat protection?
Strong.
Ownership costs?
Low.
Great. This meeting
Adjourned. Wow, that was fast.
Yep, that's the research.
With Mac configured by CDW, a solution that works for everyone isn't just possible, it's powerful. Find out more at cdw.com/getmac.
Why do institutional broker-dealers rely on BNY Mellon Pershing for a tailored and proactive experience? Marcus Mattielli, Director of Institutional Solutions, shares how Pershing helps you consider everything.
In this highly competitive environment, BNY Mellon Pershing's Institutional Solutions team wants to know, what are you doing today to position your firm for future growth? Do you have confidence in the stability and durability of your strategic partners? Can you access clear guidance to help you be better, sharper, faster, and more strategic? Whether it's clearing, financing, collateral management, securities lending, or global trade execution, BNY Mellon and Pershing are committed to meeting the evolving needs of institutional firms.
To learn more about the unique and industry-leading solutions for broker-dealers, visit Pershing.com. Pershing LLC, member FINRA, NYSE, SIPC.
Bridge Bank helps breakthrough ideas actually break through and remains dedicated to providing financial solutions to the risk takers, the game changers, and the disruptors, those committed to making the world a better place. Bridge Bank has been providing financial solutions to technology and innovation companies from inception to IPO and beyond for over 2 decades through its national network of banking teams and offices. Bridge Bank, a division of Western Alliance Bank, member FDIC. Bridge Bank, be bold, venture wisely.
Markets, headlines, and breaking news 24 hours a day at Bloomberg.com, the Bloomberg Business app, and at Bloomberg Quick Take. This is a Bloomberg Business Flash.
It's 4:21 on Wall Street. I'm Charlie Pellet. Lots of headlines after the close of trading. Hasbro right now cutting about 1,000 full-time positions. That stock plunging after hours. Hasbro now down by about 9%. Developing story. We'll sift through the headlines, bring you up to date on that. Intel moments ago reporting a dire forecast for the current period, hurt by sinking demand from PC customers and tough competition in the lucrative market for server hardware. After hours, Intel dropping now by 7%. Visa out with earnings. It reported adjusted EPS for the first quarter that beat the average analyst estimate after hours. Right now we do have Visa up by 1.5%. It was an update for the Dow, the S&P, and NASDAQ. Tesla certainly lifted spirits today. Tesla up by 11%. Tech mega caps powering a stock market rebound. S&P closing at the highest since early December. S&P today up 44, now at 4,060, up 1.1%. The Dow up 205, up 0.6%. NASDAQ up 199, up by 1.8%. 10-year yield 3.50%, with the 2-year 4.18%. Gold down 0.9%, 19.29 the ounce, and West Texas Intermediate crude up 1.2%, 81.12 a barrel. I'm Charlie Pellet. That is a Bloomberg Business Flash.
All right, Charlie, thank you so much. We are so excited about our next guest. In fact, sorry, Charlie, if I missed the cue because we were talking with him. Over the next week or so, just big, broad picture, we're going to be hearing from some of the big media companies when it comes to earnings. Of course, Netflix already reported a blockbuster report thanks to a massive subscriber beat. When it comes to the media names, it's about grabbing eyeballs, boosting and holding on to subscribers by giving them great content. And our next guest, Tim, really gets his space in a big way.
Yeah, he's been in it as it's evolved in a really big way, from traditional broadcast and linear to TV, to the explosion in streaming and mobile, DVDs, everything. Josh Sapan is the former president and CEO of AMC Networks. You know him from such hits as Mad Men, Breaking Bad, The Walking Dead. It was spun off from Cablevision, Carol, back in 2011, and he's got a new book out.
I love it. The title, Third Act. I think about my third act because I'm still in my first act. Reinventing your next chapter. Josh Sapan is in our Bloomberg Interactive Broker Studio. Thank you so much for coming in.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
We have so much to talk about. Do you still like the media world when you look back at it? Do you think it's just kind of unbelievable and what it was, what it's become, what it continues to evolve?
I think it's wonderful, and I can't get enough television. My wife and I sit down every night.
Seriously?
No joke, actually. Particularly new shows. There's this abundance of shows, and I think television, many would agree, what goes on the screen at home has come to dominate so much of the conversation, and so we sit down frequently and say, what do you want to watch?
What are you watching?
That's
Tell
what I
us.
wanted to know.
God, well, it's a bit, honestly, it's Academy Award season.
Okay.
After saying that, so I'm trying to be current as a voter.
You are? Okay.
Yeah, on everything that might be,
So you have
that I
all-
might vote for. So
You have all the screeners.
So I've been racking them up. Well, they're also sort of findable, but I do have access to them. So, everything from Pinocchio to Tar to Babylon to Everything Everywhere All at Once to the list goes on, a spectacular list, and then documentaries, and then foreign films, and so there's not enough time.
What about like quote unquote TV these days? Because TV these days is it's such a loose
You
definition,
watch
right?
linear?
It's like, well, no, I don't even mean linear.
Oh, what do you mean?
I mean like HBO
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
weekly, or a Netflix series drops all at once on Netflix. Like,
Yeah.
what are you binging? What are you streaming? That's not.
Sure. Well, I have particular affection for AMC because of time and time there, and so the AMC bought the Anne Rice Library, and so Mayfair Witches and is new, and Interview with the Vampire is wonderful, and as well as finishing up the end of Better Call Saul, and
Yeah.
Dark Winds, and the list goes really on.
No Better Call Saul spoilers, please.
And on. So it's wonderful. But we do, of course, watch HBO, Netflix, Apple, et cetera, et cetera.
Josh, how do you feel about, like, it's funny, I watched Bad Sisters, which I adored, I don't know if you saw it, but I watched it week to week because it was one, and it was kind of fun to look forward
Yeah.
to when it came out, and I hadn't done that. I mean, so often something gets dumped, and I just sit there for hours. Do you like that model? Do you think it's a smart model? Do you think it's better that we're kind of waiting for something every week?
Well, I would defer to today's experts who are deep in the belly of the beast and can understand the implications of all that. I will just say, as a consumer, I don't mean this to be in any sense cute. I like it both ways.
You do?
Yeah, I like to binge shows, and then I can talk about something that was on Hulu, which is my wife and I liked a show called Patient with Steve Carell. I think a wonderful show, FX on Hulu, and we anxiously awaited watching new episodes each week. So I think it's wonderful both ways, depending upon the content. The business imperatives behind it are what they are, and people who are closer to it today can tell you more than I can.
I do think about, like, the explosion in just the demand for content and what that has done for directors, producers, actors, right? I mean, actors who you would think only go on the big screen, right? Like, to have a series on one of the streaming services, it's a really cool thing, and I think we all benefit. But how do you think about the evolution if you go back to your early days, right, when I forget the name of the firm, but it became Time Warner Cable? Like, it's hard to think about what it was and what it's become.
Well, I grew up really in a desert of television, a paucity of anything that was worthwhile. There were rare
Norman
exceptions.
Lear, who's in your book,
Well,
which
actually,
we'll get to, would maybe beg to differ.
Well, to talk about, because actually he was a really notable exception.
Yeah.
Another person in the book named Bill Persky, who really featured strong women in his comedies, and it happens to be a dear personal friend, so I'm very attached to both him and his extraordinary work, which began with Dick Van Dyke and Kate and Allie. So, but it was a different world, and it really was, if not desert, it was desert with few oases. And today it is land of abundance, and I think it's a wonderful land of abundance for creative expression.
Do you think, forgive me, Tim, but I just want to jump in, do you think we're getting better in terms of diversity and really serving different audiences?
You know, I'd like to think yes. I really would like to think yes, rather emphatically. And, shows are coming to mind that are really portraying people who look like the world. They don't look like a different world, and I think that's a virtuous, wonderful, and really, truly, truly important thing, because media is it actually gets inside people's skin, and so if they see an embrace of diverse people, I think it really helps and influences behavior rather profoundly. I'll tell you an anecdote. Another person who's in the book is Senator Governor Bob Kerrey, who went on to be university president, and then banker, and is also, I should say, a poet along the way, and was earlier a pharmacist and military person. And
I think there's a fourth and a fifth act in there, but that's okay.
Yeah, exactly right. But he made a comment. We were fortunate enough years ago to have been involved with a show in its early years called Queer Eye for the Straight Guy.
Loved it.
And Bob commented that that show when he was in Nebraska had perhaps more to do with defanging homophobia than some legislation, because it made humans seem familiar who were different. And I think one sees that, in theater you see it, in books you see it, particularly in TV, which is in your home every day.
Right.
You said theater. You run a theater. You own a theater as well.
I do.
You really love media and content, don't you?
Yeah,
Well, I really want to talk about.
What's not to like?
Well, I think there is some stuff that has a lot of people concerned, in the idea of short form stuff and watching on your phone. A study back in October by Ymca said that TikTok overtook Netflix to become the second most popular service in the U.S. YouTube was at the top when it came for people under 35 watching. Does that concern you at all?
I'm not sure I am an authority on what the impact of short form and TikTok.
But from the perspective of art, from the perspective of, what we are consuming.
I guess, truly, if you don't mind, again, don't let me feign authority. I think...
Let's be honest. You know a thing or two about media. You've been in this space.
The social implications of it, the long-term social implications of media, social, and even on art, are hard to predict. I'll offer a couple of comments, if I may.